At the same time, one of the most important countries in the region, Iran, is at a crossroads following a year of sustained popular uprising against the regime, despite a violent state response and a record number of executions in a country that already, per capita, executes more of its own citizens than any other. And I believe it's essential to understand that the Iranian regime's savagery is a sign of its weakness rather than its strength. The regime is trying to export its crisis of survival at home in the face of growing popular dissent and demands for genuine democratic change. Many have wrongly interpreted the increasingly bellicose stance of the regime as a sign of its strength and part of the natural tendency of what is regarded as a regional superpower to seek to increase its sphere of influence. And this, I suggest, is in all probability the main reason for the United States and the United Kingdom's soft-line approach to Iran. The regime's barely disguised warmongering serves several immediate purposes. Firstly, it provides cover for its domestic repression and diverts international attention from its appalling human rights record and suppression of the popular uprising. Secondly, it gives the regime the opportunity to gain political and diplomatic legitimacy on the international and regional stage, instead of being rejected for what it is as a pariah state. Thirdly, it allows the regime to use the conflict in the Middle East, waged by its proxies, Hamas and Hezbollah, to create division within Western democracies along religious and ideological lines, as indeed we are witnessing in the United Kingdom at the moment. And fourthly, it allows the regime to exploit the emerging divisions with Western democracies to facilitate terrorist attacks, especially targeting critics, proponents of a firm policy, and members of the Iranian democratic opposition. But those steps have not had the desired outcome and proven to be insufficient because the two most important steps are missing. Firstly, proscription of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, as a terrorist organization, a course that is supported overwhelmingly by all parties in the House of Commons, with similar strong support from within the House of Lords. Secondly, and perhaps the determining factor, which is our government's failure to acknowledge the existence of a domestic Iranian solution, a democratic alternative. And the NCRI is that Iranian democratic solution. This is my understanding of working with them closely on Iranian matters. They've always maintained that the Iranian people seek and struggle for a free, democratic, and secular republic. The regime has been the most significant obstacle to Middle East peace over the past 3 decades. I have emphasized many times since 2 decades ago that the regime's warmongering in the region is 100 times more dangerous than its nuclear program. The real geopolitical battle now is between the Iranian regime and the Iranian people and their organized resistance movement, the NCRI. And our own security and economic interest, indeed that of the entire West, is in the Iranian people and the NCRI prevailing in that struggle. Therefore, the solution is before us. It's time to act to ensure that that victory comes sooner rather than later. We don't need to engage militarily. We need to recognize the NCRI and endorse its democratic platform and back the Iranian people in their effort for a democratic republic and indeed for justice.